All right, peace and blessings, all praises to the Most High. And let you hear another truck driver who tells about his experience in a sundown town between Ocala and Gainesville, Florida, where he almost didn't make it out of town alive before the sun came down. Just check this out and I'll be back with some commentary.
Truck driver in Florida. Let me tell y'all the first experience I had of finding out what a sundown town was. It was a Thursday. I was driving a 26-foot box truck from Orlando to Gainesville. So I'm between Ocala and Gainesville, but I gotta stop and get some gas and get some food or whatever. But I see absolutely nothing as I'm driving. It ain't no houses, no buildings, just road and trees. I finally find this Circle K gas station in the middle of nowhere. An old white lady that was helping me at the counter was sweet as can be, nice as hell. Hey baby, what brings you way out here in these sticks? You just coming to get some gas? I'm like, yeah, I'm kind of familiar with these parts, but kind of not, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm going to Gainesville. I'm just shooting through. I'm in and out. She's like, all right, baby, God bless. You have a good one. Get my stuff, go back out to the truck, try to put the key in there and start the truck up. It will not start up. I wait a few seconds, put the key in there again, try to start it up. It will not start up. Don't know what's wrong. So I call my dispatcher, and my dispatcher tell me to look up under the hood to see if I can figure it out. I'm just like, yeah, okay, whatever. So I say to myself, man, I'm not about to go look up under the hood. I don't know what I'm looking for. I don't know what I'm looking at. I signed up to be a driver. I ain't no damn mechanic. But I'm sitting there for like 20, 25 minutes, so I get bored. I'm like, all right, man, let me just go look up under the hood, see what I can see. So as soon as I get out of the truck, go around, pop open the hood, and as soon as I look down, the lady that was helping me in there comes out in a panic. What's wrong, baby? Is everything okay? Are you all right? I say, yeah, ma'am, I don't know what's going on with the truck. It won't start up, and I don't know much about trucks. I called my dispatcher. I don't know what they're going to do. They figuring it out now. She was like, all right, well, do you need a tow truck or anything? Do you need an Uber or a taxi to take you closer into town? And I was like, no, ma'am, I'm not allowed to leave the truck. It's a lot of valuables on this truck, and I'm delivering. I can't just leave the truck. I can't just leave it. She was like, all right, I understand. And she goes back in the gas station, but she keep looking at me, looking at her watch, looking at me, looking at her watch. And then she comes back out there and says, well, you don't want to sit up in some hot truck. You can't get it fixed, no AC, and there's nowhere for you to sit down in there. Like, so you're just going to stand out here and just sit in this hot truck? I say, honestly, man, right now, I don't have a choice. I'm just waiting for my dispatcher to hit me back. She said, okay, I understand. My dispatcher called me back and was like, listen, we got a tow truck coming out there in about 2 hours. Just sit tight. I'm like, damn, 2 hours is hot as hell. I'm ready to go. Then again, I was like, it's all right. I got food. I got drink here. The sun about to start going down. It's not going to be that hot, whatever. And I didn't want to go in the Circle K because of how the lady was acting. So I was just like, I'll be all right, whatever. She seen me get off the phone. She ran out to me again and she was just like, did you figure anything out? Do you know what you're going to do? I was like, yeah, my dispatcher said they got somebody coming in 2 hours for the tow. I'll be fine. She was like, 2 hours? The sun will be down by then. Are you sure they can't figure anything out before then? I was like, they said 2 hours. And she looked at her watch, went right back in the store. A few minutes go by, I get thirsty, so I ran in the store to go grab a Gatorade. As soon as I go in the store to get a Gatorade, she had her back turned, and she was on the phone talking to the police, talking about, yeah, he's been here for a while, you gotta come get him, blah, blah, blah. And I didn't put two and two together until I bought the Gatorade, and I left, and I was like, damn, she was calling the police. She was calling somebody on I called my dispatcher back. I'm like, yo, I don't know what's about to go down, but this old lady that worked at this store just been giving me problems or whatever when she found out I wasn't going to be able to move my truck. I think she just called the police on me. I don't know what's about to happen, but can y'all shake a tail feather? My dispatcher was like, why would she call the police? I was like, I don't know, and I don't want to find out. Can y'all hurry up? 5 minutes after I get off the phone, sure enough, the police pull up right behind my truck. A black police officer gets out, and he asks me what's the problem, asks me what's going on. He assesses the truck and says, listen, I'm going to have to take you somewhere. I said, I can't leave my truck. Like, what are you talking about? You about to get me fired. He said, listen, I'm going to have to take you somewhere. Get in the truck. Get in the back of the truck. We driving for about 30 seconds. And I'm like, bro, where are you taking me? He was like, are you familiar with the mall area? He was like, that's a good area. I said, yeah, I'm familiar with the mall area. He said, yeah, that's where I'm taking you. I said, what the fuck you taking me to the mall for? I can't leave my truck. He said, you have to leave your truck. I said, why? Because that's called the police on me. I ain't even do nothing. He said, she didn't call the police on you. She called the police for you. I know her personally. He said, in 45 minutes, that sun was going to go down and you was going to go missing. And I ain't say nothing else. I already knew by then. I put two and two together by that point. When we finally got to the mall, I called my dispatcher and I told the officer, I'm like, yo, I need you to tell my dispatcher why I had to leave the truck. And he grabbed the phone and told my dispatcher everything, got on the phone, called my boss and told my boss everything just so I wouldn't get in trouble. The lady was scared for my life. Even the officer didn't even stick around. He like, yeah, I'm just gonna drive you out here. Cause he could have easily been like, well, I'm just gonna stick here with you so nothing happened to you. He was like, nah, nigga, we gotta go. We gotta go. Even when the tow truck guy came and picked me up, I told him where it was at. He put it in the GPS. He was like, yeah, I'm not going over there. I said, what the hell? He said, yeah, I'm not going over there that late. I'll come back and get it in the morning. It won't no part. So yeah, this was about 7 years ago, and I swear I think about every other day, damn near every day. And shit, I mean, because she could have just not said nothing. She could have just let me sit there, and I would have went missing like a mother.
All right, so you heard the story, and the man said it was about 7 years ago. So if he made it this year, it'd be 2018. If he didn't, you just imagine he's not that old. So it had to be, at least in the 2010s or the 2000s. And what's strange to me is that definitely sounds very believable in those small towns, definitely in Florida. And if anybody is listening to this video, he said it was between Ocala and Gainesville. And I looked up some towns in Florida, and you guys can verify these towns. It says Delray Beach, Elfers, 95% white, Gulfport, Florida. They said Miami Beach was a sundown town in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, but of course, I think that's changed now. Mayaka City, Okoe, St. Cloud. And there's a lot of other towns that's not included. But Florida is a place where, especially the northern part, people tell me that you don't really want to get caught in certain towns. And the thing about that story as well, very believable, is she called the black police officer. She called the black police officer because probably if she'd have called the white police officer and it was daytime still, they would have came and got him because, hey, that was they knew he would not from around there. So it would have been easy for them to dispose of him. So these things still go on. These still are some towns right now today. And we see why all of these truckers are going missing. Even black people just go missing, women, children. All of these people go missing and nobody ever finds them or nobody, has a trace of them. Maybe they just got caught in a situation like my brother did, stopped in the sundown town after the sun was down, and then they're no longer around. But shout out to that brother for sharing his story. And if you have similar stories like that, feel free to call in and, share your story with me. Y'all see the number, 919-587-7782. And if you are a trucker out there, make sure that you protect yourself at all costs. You it's something called the Global Green Book. That is for black people who are traveling these sundown towns. As the scripture says, be as wise as serpents and gentle as doves, and also watch and pray because, you never know when you will end up in one of these situations and your life may be unknowingly in danger. But thank y'all for watching, liking, sharing, and subscribing to the channel. And as always, peace and blessings.